All right, everybody, welcome back to Russell Point for our today's day, the Friday, September 17th edition of Rampage and SmackDown. I feel like we have different views on these shows, especially the one we're going to start talking about first, which is Rampage. So we can get right into Rampage, Dom, if you'd like to hit that banner. Dom's face is
Eric is ready to throw down already.
No. We actually have a really good system going on, me and Dom, where as we're watching the shows live, we get all of our fighting and arguing done then, so we don't have to take up airtime on it. So we're gonna keep. So I don't think there's gonna be much if any arguing to
not tonight.
It already happened a lot in the chat.
Yeah, it's already happened.
It already happened.
That's the new system. We get it done behind closed doors, so no one sees it. So then when we're on camera, we look like we love each other. But anyways, so Rampage, let's get started. So the first match on Rampage was for the tag team titles. It was Butcher and the Blade versus Lucha Bros. And so this was obviously it was a solid match. It was exciting as most, if not all, Lucha Brothers matches are. They're very exciting. Yeah. My only problem with it is I don't know if necessarily anybody was really clamoring to see the Butcher and the Blade in a really prominent match. So it was hard to really get invested in it when there was zero chance that the Butcher and the Blade were winning this. And they're also just not very exciting workers. It was kind of a styles clash, but they made it work for what it was. So I wasn't dumb. I definitely did not hate this. This was perfectly fine for an opening match. One thing that I thought was kind of funny was at one point, I think it was Taz said, I think Penta's got something wrong with his right leg or his right ankle. And then the next thing that happens 2 seconds later is Penta hits a super kick with his right leg and then a step up Enziguri with his right leg. I was like, God damn it, Taz.
Oh, Taz. I love Taz.
But it was a solid opener, if not uninspiring.
With the Butcher and the Blade, I don't think anybody was like, oh, we want Butcher and the Blade in the tag team world title picture, but they were the highest record. They had the highest record in tag team division in terms of AEW does the whole records and wins and losses thing, and they wanted to matter, and they had the biggest winning streak from what I remember, or what they told me, or what I was told, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they gotta stay true to the system. They gotta stay true. That be like. They have an outline for the audience to be like, okay, this is a tag team they could be challenging next, or this one, or this tag team because of the records, So yeah, we would have to have some of those matches. It's no big harm, and I already told Eric before this live, I really enjoyed the finish. I think it was really clever. What's he called? What's he called? What's it called?
Like the
yeah. That's the name of it. Don't laugh, Cody. To the ring, and then Penta just took his mask off and super kicked him and made the save, and they finished the match. I think that was really cool.
The only issue I had with that is Penta was covering his whole face, including his eyes, and somehow hit the super kick on the nose. I thought that was a little silly, but it made for a cool visual. So I'm not going to complain.
This is okay, Eric. You might, because we already talked about something like this earlier in the night in our chat, and you'd be like, "Oh, mental gymnastics." But this is what I see. This is what I like to believe, right? That it seemed like the Pentagon, he cares about these championships so much that he's willing to risk people seeing his face.
No. I get that. No, I'm not complaining about like that. What I'm saying is, I thought it was. The only thing I thought was a little silly that he was completely covering his eyes and somehow was able to hit the super kick right on the button. That was my only thing.
I mean, maybe
Michael Jordan closed his eyes and hit some free throws, so anything's possible.
Penta's not Michael Jordan.
He could have done like this. He could have been like this. He could have still seen.
I suppose.
I didn't have to do like this.
No, I did watch it back a few times to see if I could see if he was going like this or something, and I couldn't really tell, so I just kind of assumed that. Since he's a luchador, he was trying to cover as much as possible, but don't know. I'm not complaining about it. So I thought the visual.
I just thought this was genuinely a good TV match. Nothing great about it. Yeah. I did like the finish as well. I do like that AEW does the records things because it seems like it matters a lot more. I don't know. But the only thing is Butcher just came back, so and they're immediately, even though like he's been out for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of
He gets
matches
immediately-
on Dark. Lots of matches on Dark. Real
There
quick.
are, yeah.
No, hasn't been injured. He
I
just
think
came
he's
back.
been good.
He
I don't
just
know.
came back and all out.
But they had a winning record apparently.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Whatever it
At least,
is.
Yeah,
at least they justify it some kind of way.
It was a solid TV match.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah. So after this match so there was a beat down, of course. The Hardy family office comes in, does a beat down. They get and then Santana and Ortiz make the save. And so I mean that's building because I guess Santana and Ortiz have talked about how they want to set their sights on the tag team titles. So yeah, that happened. Then after that, we get a really quick video package for Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson, and nothing dumb, nothing spectacular. It was a solid video package building towards their Grand Slam match next week. The only quote in this that I had an issue with was Kenny said, "Everyone that comes into AEW immediately puts their target on me." Do they? Whose debut match so far of these big back to the beginning of AEW? How many people come in and get a match with Kenny?
Not
So
get a
far-
match with Kenny,
I
but
don't think
sets
so
aside.
So far, Bryan Danielson makes one.
No. I don't think he meant like get a match with Kenny right away. I think like set their sides on it. Like Christian.
I mean, but like that's just a basic every champion thing.
Yeah,
That's
that's CM
Yeah,
Punk.
I get.
Christian, Christian for sure.
Yeah,
Christian
I
for
obviously
sure.
understand what they were going for. My thing is like, Malachi Black came in and got Cody. Sting came in a Cody feud and came with Darby and fought. Who did they have in that?
The thing is not this. But
And
thing is,
Team Taz, wasn't it? It was
But-
Team
but
Taz.
Yeah,
Sting
Team Taz.
but Sting isn't coming in as a in-ring competitor though.
And Shaq came in, put his sights on Cody.
Shaq
isn't- Shaq isn't on the
not a
roster.
wrestler. Shaq's not a wrestler, but I'm just saying when like the new people tend to get Cody instead of Kenny. That's all I was saying.
I mean, you have a good point. Ruby Soho didn't set her sights on the Kenny Omega, by the way, right?
Oh, my audio.
I think it's more of like. Let's say, whatever. I was reading something. Sorry. It's more of like a. I feel like Tony Khan is a real. He's like a true fan. So he's like, who doesn't want Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson? So it's like I think this is more of a fan service match than anything. But I'm excited for it. Chicken stripper.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait.
What
What is this?
was it?
Hey, you got a joke for you guys. What do you call chicken strips in the club? Chicken strippers. That's
Yeah.
good. Make Cody laugh.
It's probably the
Nice.
funnier than anything AEW's done.
That's an AW joke. Yeah. All right. Next, let's move
Oh
on.
yeah. Okay. So anyway, moving along. We get another match.
There you-
That's,
That's
there's AEW marks to my is screen left. Yeah. So next we get Anna Jay versus the Bunny. So this is probably we're about 15, 20 minutes into the show, and I think it's been solid, and it's about to get really, really shitty for a while. Anna Jay versus the Bunny. The Bunny can't work. I watched like 30 seconds of this before I just couldn't take it anymore. Fast forwarded to the finish. Of course, now we're 2 for 2 on matches with a beatdown afterward. Really funny moment here. I don't know if you guys caught it. Penelope Ford. Did you guys notice when she pulled out the brass knuckles, she tried to put them on upside down?
I don't know.
She puts them on because it's got that little pad that goes on on your palm. She had that up here, so she puts it on and she's like, "Why is this so weird?" And then she puts them like fully on upside down, and then has to awkwardly take them off and flip them over. So no one told her how to hold brass knuckles, I guess, before this happened. But yeah, this kind of sucked, and I didn't watch it.
I kind of agree with you. Like I mentioned in the beginning when this feud thing started, like I like that the AEW women's division has more than one feud, because right now it just seems women's title match picture and then everything else. And I like that there's a second feud. I feel like this feud is so repetitive. Like the same thing is happening over again. I feel like they could make it so much more interesting. They have much more talented women. Like nothing against Anna Jay and the Bunny. I like Anna Jay. The Bunny is meh. Like she's fine. I think she should just stick with the Butch and the Blade.
Yeah, I was about to say there's also not very much reason for her to be called the Bunny if she's not going to be with the Butcher and the Blade because that was like their package. They were the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. If she's not going to be with them, I feel like they should just go back to calling her Allie. I think that's what she was called before they showed up.
Yeah.
I think this is. I'm pretty sure I read this on Rampage next week. It's Anna Jay versus Penelope Ford now, or I read that somewhere. I think that's all. That's what that was set up.
They're just gonna keep rotating the.
They're trying, and the big thing is, and I think I give them a lot more shit for this than I should for their booking than I should because you have to remember is that they are for the most part they are first time bookers. They don't have a big they're not like WWE where they have a dedicated booking department that have been booking for years and years and years. This is still kind of their first go around at it. So there's going to be some nonsense, I shouldn't call this nonsense, but there's going to be some just like not very good repetitive.
It's harmless. It's harmless on if anything.
Yes, it's still accomplishing what they wanted to, which at the base of this, they want to highlight the women's division more, and they're doing it. So
I'll say this: it was much better than Nikki Ash versus Tamina on Monday. So
yes, with a very low.
Excuse me, Cody. You cannot defend Nikki Ash.
Granted, I didn't watch. Like I said, I didn't watch much of this match, but setting the bar so low as Nikki Ash and Tamina, I would agree that this was probably.
I also put the bar low that Nikki Ash got hurt during that match. So.
It's not being part of a good match that she got.
But anyway, okay, so here at WrestlePoint, we have differences of opinions on a lot of things, and it's mostly me and Dom, and I don't think there's ever been as divisive of a segment as what came next. And like we said at the top of the show, we're not going to do any arguing here. We've already done all of our arguing, so I'm going to say my piece, Dom's going to say his piece. We're going to move on. Matt Hardy had an in-ring interview, and I'm going to start from the top, and I'm going to tell you where they lost me, because this wasn't bad from the start. So Matt Hardy comes out. So the first two matches were people from the Hardy family office lost. So Matt Hardy comes out and he cuts a promo saying how he's angry. He finds a guy dressed as Orange Cassidy in the crowd. He cuts a promo on that guy, and I have no problem with it so far. I actually kind of like that they picked a fan out of the crowd that was dressed as Orange Cassidy to shit on. I thought that was nice until they pulled him over the railing and shaved his head. Then it became clear this was a planted fan, and then it got just. I understand that in like the territories back in the day that like fans were planted all the time, and I'm a huge supporter of protecting kayfabe, but at a certain point, given that kayfabe is dead, there's to a certain point, especially in AEW where they spit in the face of kayfabe constantly, planted fans don't really serve a purpose because this was very clearly fake, and it's therefore you don't get very much heat on Matt Hardy because it's so fake. What would I have done? I don't know what I would have done, because they're in a very weird situation where they can't really do things like that because it's never going to be believable from them, because kayfabe's as dead there as anywhere in the world. So I don't know what I would have done different. I'm just going to say I thought this whole segment just took a downturn when the fan was playing, when it became a really obvious.
I know what I would have done. I'd meet Tony Khan. I would have been like, grab all my people on the roster and be like, hey, you guys want TV time? Who's willing to shave their head for TV time? That's what WWE would have done. WWE would be like, hey, anybody willing to shave their head?
Oh, WWE.
And they did actually, you know what they did? AEW did that very, very early. You guys remember that atrocious Brandy Rhodes thing they tried to get going, the Nightmare Collective? You guys remember that?
I didn't watch AEW back then.
Oh. She, like Brandy Rhodes, they tried to do this thing where she was like a cult leader, and she would get these followers, and her followers would all like get their head shaved. So they actually did have a planted fan. Now that I'm thinking about this, they completely recycled their own angle. She was like, "Who wants to join the Nightmare Collective?" And this random fan at ringside goes, "Me," and she jumps over the railing, and they shave her head. So they've done it before. I think, like what I said, my first instinct was Matt Hardy should have just squashed a random jobber and cut some sort of promo saying, Orange Cassidy, like today it was this guy, next time it's going to be you, and I'm not done yet. And then he shaves his head. It's not perfect. Even if I saw that, I don't necessarily think I would have liked it, but I think it would have been more effective than a planted fan. The
thing that it gives me such vibes of the Straight Edge Society when they shave Serena's head, and it's like that's such a good thing. That was so good that like
I can go on forever.
And then,
argue that.
before I turn it over to you guys, important
to
to
me,
note
because I want to make my point
yeah,
too.
yeah.
All right, hurry up. We've been going way too long on this.
I know,
content.
no, that's what I'm saying. After this, I was so done with this whole show because the last few segments were so offensive and stupid. I turned the show off. So after this, I stopped watching Rampage.
Which is awful because we had a really good segment afterwards.
Shouldn't have surrounded it with shit.
Okay, anyways. This is my opinion. And Eric and I had an argument about it. This is why I somewhat enjoyed the segment and defended it. When somebody gets a fan gets pulled into ring, no way in hell you don't think it's not Planet. There's no chance in hell, like Vince McMahon likes to say. That a normal ass fan, random ass fan, without permission from AEW, without them knowing beforehand, would go in a ring. That's just any, and I don't think I'm speaking for AEW just in general. I'm speaking for any pro wrestling promotion. I feel like that's actually a cold take. Where's the cold take? So why I defended it, it's like, okay, yeah, he could have just taken a random jobber and shaved his head, right? Honestly, and I never argued Matt Hardy got any heat from this. You know, it was just to progress the story because no one gives a fuck about a random jobber or like a Planet random ass dude, right? No one cares. You know, it's not like he's shaving like, I don't know, this guy's head. You know, somebody they care about. It's not like that. They're just doing a random person, right?
I mean, I would say that
there could have been a jobber they care about.
I would say no one cares about this feud regardless. If we're being honest.
Okay, point taken. I'm just saying, no heat, right? Which is fine. The reason I'm defending it over somebody like a jobber getting his head shaven, Matt Hardy made it head. You know, he's not a straight edge society guy or like a cult guy, but like, oh, I want to shave at people's heads because it's fun or so they can join me. You know, he wants to get Cassie's head. You know, he didn't just randomly. He didn't just. I don't think he did. Maybe I remember the promo wrong. He didn't just randomly say, "I want to shave somebody's head." You know, he saw the Cassidy plan. He's like, "Get your ass over here!" You know. Then he beat him up, and then he just, had clippers on him. And
it seems pretty random to me.
It seemed random to me, but it wasn't like he came in and made a promo, be like, "I'm gonna shave somebody's head." Oh, look at this, a Cassidy plan. You know, I felt like it was just a message to Cassidy himself. Yeah, he could have done it with a jobber, but I think the message was more clear with somebody who was a planted dressed as Cassidy.
I could care less about this.
Did somebody? I don't remember. Was somebody was out there with Matt Hardy? Right? Was someone out there with Matt Hardy?
It was Jack Evans. Yeah.
So a question: when Orange Cassidy comes out to make the save,
they just run away. I'm not defending that.
I know. I'm not saying this is like as trying to argue with you, but this is something that just came to me. There's two of them and one of Orange Cassidy. Why not take him down and shave his head?
I'm not defending that. I'm just defending.
No, that's something that I.
All right. That was my piece. Let's move on.
It was way too long on that.
Here's a comment from one of your fans. Question: is Punk's alleged altruism of putting over young talent in AEW a sham?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
He came in, he beat young talent. That CM Punk's a bad guy.
I mean, he's not putting them over because, Then again, like, this is the thing with pro wrestling. I want to get this piece out real quick. This is the thing with pro wrestling. Like, when you put over young guys, right? How many times can you realistically do it until it does? Billy Gunn, right? Let's see, if Billy Gunn were to put over a guy right now, would we care? No. If Billy Gunn, somebody like who was on the top of his game.
Are we talking about Billy Gunn?
I'm saying in general, when does it not matter?
I'm not triggered.
No, I'm just saying in general. When is it?
I mean, Billy Gunn is not CM Punk.
But I'm saying, when is it not?
I gotta pull up my triggered picture for Dom.
When is it lessen the impact of putting somebody over? When they put over everybody.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like if Roman Reigns put somebody over right now, that'd be bigger Stop. No, I am the editor producer of this show. I'll make the funny stuff. Okay, whatever. That was just my piece.
I think CM Punk is not putting people over for a reason, but
He's putting. Hey, like I would like to say,
I don't even
the match. If the main purpose of a match or the ideal purpose of a match is both guys walking out with more momentum than they came in, and so far with Darby, it has achieved that. With will that with Will Hobbs? Well, we'll see.
I doubt it. If I'm being honest.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
Let's move on.
I doubt it. That's just my opinion. All right, move on because Dom just loves talking about CM Punk. So, Dom, you're
All right. Well,
you keep freezing. So,
I'm just not saying anything. Okay. Anyways, well,
you keep freezing.
Like your screen is freezing.
Fucking family. Okay. They want to just take the kitchen area away from me. Okay. All right. So I'm introducing next. Okay, since Eric stopped watching. Next we had Ruby Soho and the Britt Baker in-ring promo. This was fantastic. Offended.
It wasn't fantastic. It was.
Yes, it was.
It was all right.
It was good. You need to be watching.
It was all right. It really, like, honestly, no. I rewatched it twice. I just don't. I feel like when Ruby gave that whole line about banging the guy in the back, it just felt so so forced out of her. I don't know.
Well, Eric listened to that line.
Dom did play that line for me. I mean, in a vacuum, that line was really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what was like. The reason that I can't say anything about the segment is I don't know what was around the line. But in a vacuum, that was an awesome line.
The segment, a lot of other people did.
And whoever on Twitter is saying Britt Baker is the best promo in women's wrestling needs to go watch any WWE promo from Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair,
or Nia Jax.
Wait, 1 second.
Bailey is in the right now.
Cody, did you just Bailey?
Yeah, she's not. And is she?
Excuse me?
Is she on TV right now? Is she on TV?
Is Sasha on TV?
Sasha was on TV 3 weeks ago.
Hold on.
Doesn't matter.
Hold on.
All right, keep going. The trigger face.
I don't care.
I'm pulling it up.
Bailey like that. Get out of here.
She's out for a whole year. What do you want me to talk about?
I don't see Sasha anywhere. No, I don't care. I don't see Sasha anywhere.
Sasha's literally been out for like 3 weeks.
Okay, so Bailey hasn't been out that long, like 2 months.
Yeah, longer than fucking.
Okay,
Sasha.
it's still out. I don't see her.
I don't want to hear your petty ass Bailey.
You need to stop Bailey like that. Okay, put that picture down.
Tom's getting triggered.
Great promo, Eric. You gonna tell me
Stop
what
getting
you think about
triggered, man.
I'm not being triggered. He's just. It does it on purpose.
I don't. He actually didn't.
All right. Next, we had the main event. Come on. Del Sol. I always say soy, but Del Sol.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch this.
Del Sol put up his brand new whip, in order for him to get another chance at Miro, and Miro crushed him. That's about it. It was a long match. It was somewhat competitive.
I don't think you should say he put up his car in order to get another shot at Miro. He literally just kind of did it. He literally was just like, Miro, he was literally like, Miro, I want to have another match with you. I'm even going to throw in my car. Like, it's not like
Miro didn't say, oh, you have to throw in your car.
He kind of he kind of egged himself on for that one.
Stupid. Yeah, but other than that, I guess we have nothing else to say about this show or any closing.
We spent too long on Rampage tonight.
We got sidetracked a couple times. But don't worry, I don't think we'll have very much to say about. Let's moving on to SmackDown. I don't think we'll have very much to say because, at least in my opinion, SmackDown for the last 2 or 3 weeks has been fantastic. I thought this was a gigantic step back. I thought this was, by SmackDown standards, a really bad show.
I don't think it was bad. I think it was more boring.
I think by SmackDown standards, I think it was bad.
Yeah.
I see that.
Honestly, you could make the case Raw was better.
I don't remember what happened on Raw. Maybe I don't know.
I ain't gonna go that far. I mean, Big won the title. Yeah,
you can make a case. I'm not saying that it was better. I'm just saying
let's just get right into it. So we have the Bloodline come out, which is always their openings. You'll never be able to take away as long as they start the show with Roman Reigns, their opening segments will always hit hard. And unfortunately, so during this is actually kind of funny. I watched this morning because I had it on my DVR. While I was watching this was when me and Dom were arguing over the over the segment from Rampage. So I actually kind of missed a lot of this. But I'm gonna assume it was great because it was Roman Reigns.
Of course, Roman's amazing on the mic. So the Big E interruption, it kind of annoyed me a little bit because they cut the Big E and then like they went to commercial and then there's a tag match. Like I get what they were doing with the match, but I would like at least like some like back. I know why they made the match, but I would like some like arguing or something given because we did not have enough Roman Reigns on this show tonight. There was so Roman at least has 3 or 4 segments usually on a good SmackDown, and Roman he opened the show. They had one backstage thing, and then they were done basically. So a big pop for Big E, huge pop. So it was nice to see him. I love that Pat McAfee is back on commentary. It's amazing. Decent promo, nothing too spectacular. Just Roman Reigns' music is great. Paul Heyman is amazing. That's about it.
You mentioned the commercial in between the Big E coming out, and I think that's a WWE issue because Monday Night Raw did stuff like that too. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to bring up AEW. They do their commercial timing a little bit better.
I agree with that.
But
that's a small thing. I wholeheartly agree with that.
That's a small thing though. Mm. That's a nitpicky thing to be honest. But yeah, this promo was good. Big E, I was happy to see him. It makes me a little bit happy, and then because I remember we talked about on the last review, on the Monday Night review. Oh, is this gonna be like when Kofi had the championship? Is New Day gonna accompany him every time? Gonna have on Monday with New Day against the Bloodline. So I'm still conflicted on what they want to how they want to implement the New Day in it and how much.
Technically, Big E is still a SmackDown superstar.
That's true.
Which is interesting.
Wait. Technically not because they already transferred him. I think I heard that news already. They transferred him to Raw.
Yeah, but like that's what I don't understand. Like, if you're gonna make a brand split, like just because he won the championship, that shouldn't mean he's on a different brand.
WWE makes the rules, but I'm not just.
WWE goes by their own.
Yeah, they go. It's not like they can like any like the public orders or like association be like, oh, you can't do that. WWE can do whatever they want. They just have to make sense. If they don't make sense, they don't care. But which led to a match actually, which was Big E and Finn Balor, who came out as well, versus the Usos. And I think Woman was ringside, if I remember. No? Okay.
They went to the back. This match was fun. It was just a nice little match. Honestly, if they weren't if one wasn't champion and one wasn't the for number 1 contender, I would love a Big E Finn Balor tag team because the big ending plus the coup de grace was sick. I don't care.
That's a good ending. That was a good ending.
So yeah, it was a fun
good
match.
finish.
Yeah, no, this was a yeah, I thought it was great. Like, given the standards of a free TV match, I thought this was a great match. I mean, Big E was probably as far as just in-ring work goes, probably the weakest of the 4, but the bar is set very high considering who's in the ring. So this was a great match. I think Finn Balor and Big E as a team was a lot cooler than I expected it was going to be. And me being me hating the New Day as much as I do makes me think Big E should just turn heel on him and then just be with Finn Balor forever so that I don't have to see the New Day anymore. But this was great. Like the first segment plus the first match, this was a great show so far.
So I also think that even though like the tag team champs lost and took the pin, I don't think it really hurts them too much because you're losing to the WWE champion and the number 1 contender for the Universal champion. So I feel like that, like anybody else, if the Usos got pinned in the middle of the ring, and be like, oh my god, they're making their tag division so weak. But when you're losing to 2 top stars, basically, I don't think it makes you as weak.
Plus, it's always interesting when the Usos lose a match, it's always interesting because you know that Roman's going to have something to say. You know that that's going to have implications on what happens within the bloodline, which is the problem. The bloodline is probably the greatest thing going on in professional wrestling right now. So it's anything that throws a wrinkle in that, I think is just always a positive.
Anytime there's a double finish, like a double finisher finish for like a match, I think it's pretty cool. It reminded me of like John Cena Batista days.
It looks better when one of them is on the top rope too.
That's true. Yeah.
It's a flying finish and then a ground finish.
Like the Hardys back in the day, the extreme combination.
Oh yeah. Yes. All right. Yeah. So
all
we have?
So yeah, like I said, we've had a great start to the show, and it's about to just kind of slowly go downhill. And it starts with Rick Boogs versus Robert Roode. I don't know what the plan is with Rick Boogs. All I know is now this is twice that they've thrown in a really talented, really polished, just great wrestler in Robert Roode, and just fed him to Rick Boogs for what is so far at this point in time appears to be no reason, because even though he's winning singles matches, I don't see where they're really going with him. They're just feeding him like Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. They're both so good, and they deserve so much better than they get already. But now they're feeding him to Rick Boogs, and it's just makes me sad.
This is my question. Rick Boogs seems like the mid-card star right now in SmackDown, and
he's pretty over. He's over, but it's hard.
And the thing, like in terms of booking wise, because we wouldn't consider Seth Rollins somebody in mid-card,
I don't.
Exactly, and the mid-card is something this SmackDown division is lacking, and I would argue that Raw is doing better with the mid-carders than SmackDown is.
Debatable, because I feel like some of the mid-carders
in terms of spotlight and booking, yes.
Yes. I think it's bad on both brands, if I'm being honest.
Well, I mean, Damian Priest is pretty heavily TV, and again,
I honestly sometimes I don't consider Damian Priest a mid card,
but he has a mid card championship.
But he's been fighting in he's the last 2 out of the last 3 weeks he's been fighting the WWE champion. So that's why I can consider it. But yeah, I do. My favorite part of Rick Boogs is when he goes to the announce table and Pat McAfee does air guitar with him. That's like my favorite part.
Yeah, so obviously Rick Boogs wins this match.
Wait.
Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna lead into something real quick.
I need
to hurry up with that. I know. With Rick Boogs again, it makes me want to think that he should have the Intercontinental Championship, and that he's gonna challenge Nakamura at some point, or he's gonna turn heel. And then again, I don't think turning Rick Boogs heel would be wise either. Leading to, and why is Nakamura not getting spotlight? What are they doing with the division? Robert Roode was there. Dolph Ziggler, I think, was there ringside. And again, Dolph Ziggler and somebody else who had a match tonight set up a storyline 2 weeks ago, and no mentioning of it.
Yeah, well, you ask what they're doing with the Intercontinental title. Well, Shinsuke Nakamura hasn't defended in a while, but they introduced his next challenger in the post-match. And I'm going to toss to Cody, because I know this was a guy that you're really not only really high on, but you love any chance you get to see him, you love it. Tell me how much you loved what happened after the match.
Change the banner. Do you have a banner for this or no?
No, I didn't get one.
I didn't give him one.
Apollo Crews needs to go somewhere, please. Like, why are we you have so many people. This isn't a hot take either.
It's not a hot take.
That was a cold take.
Yep.
So, you have so many talented people on your roster, and you're giving Apollo again. Like, I would rather Commander of Seas fight for the title on Apollo, because that's at least a different matchup. Like, we've seen this over. Obviously, next week they booked Nakamura versus Crews for the title. Obviously, Shinsuke is going to win. Hopefully, we get some clarity in the draft where somebody moves that we can see actually being an Intercontinental Champion. Like, how about we put Sami Zayn, who is fighting the Lesser Mysterio 3 weeks in a row, beating him all 3 weeks, and how about you put him in the match? Nakamura and Sami Zayn are two great wrestlers. I'm not saying Apollo Crews is a bad wrestler, but he's just wore out on TV. He needs to go somewhere else with this.
He is very talented. He is.
Yeah, he's good. You see how bad his character is. Eric didn't know he had an accent until this week, and he's had it for a couple months now.
Well, I kind of zone out when he comes out, so this is the first time I think I just listened to him. And I gotta say one thing. So I said this a few weeks ago when during a Dewdrop Eva Marie segment. Remember they had that interview, and I was like, how did Dewdrop not see Eva Marie right in front of her, like about to hit her? How did Nakamura not see giant Commander Aziz coming at him with a big boot? He was coming right at him.
Wasn't his face turned around?
Well, I mean, technically he came from the side, but they had to come from backstage, which means they came down the ramp which he was facing.
He was just so into the match, man.
He was into the air guitar.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they go out of their way to make their and we're gonna get to this later because they do this again. They just go out of their way to make their people look so weak and dumb sometimes.
I have honestly one more thing. This has nothing to do really with the match. I didn't realize Rick Boogs wears denim. I thought those were just tights. I didn't really zone in. Like,
those aren't tights?
No, they're denim.
What the fuck?
And Pat McAfee made a comment. He's like, "Oh, that's why he wears denim in the ring."
Wow. I'm gonna need to take a look at that.
Okay.
That's weird.
Now you make me want to rewatch this match.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm not gonna rewatch the match. Boogs is gonna squash someone else next week. We can take a look then. So the next thing we got, continuing our downhill slide, we had Kevin Owens versus Happy Corbin, which I was kind of excited for because Kevin Owens is great, and I guess I have to call him Happy Corbin. Happy Corbin, like he's not fantastic, but he's got a really good. I don't think I've ever said this about somebody. Just he's got a cool move set. I think he's got a really cool move set.
I think too. I think you said every week. I think you see it every week.
Do I say that every week? Do I say
he does it though. He does though. Yeah, he does though.
Yeah. So I was actually pretty happy. I was pretty excited. Happy, of course. Now they got me saying the word happy too much. I was excited to see this, and then, of course, Happy Corbin attacks before the bell, so we don't even get the match. And this just kind of goes into the whole show. There was a lot of interview segments, a lot of promo segments on the show. There weren't very many matches. And then, like, when we get a match, it's this, and there ends up not even being a match.
Yeah, I like, is Kevin Owens an idiot? Like, how does he not expect Corbin to attack him? Like, I don't understand. Like, Kevin Owens is smart. He talks all this crap about Happy Corbin, and he doesn't expect the attack.
Kevin Owens himself, when he was a heel, would attack people before the bell. That's his tactic.
I just think this is such filler. I think they're saving this for Extreme Rules because there's not that many matches so far. So that's gonna be a match for Extreme Rules. I think it'll be a decent match. Owens is great in the ring. Corbin's all decent, all right. Nothing special, but yeah, this was just filler to me, to be honest.
I'm really enjoying the character work from Happy Corbin.
I do like the character work.
And I just don't think this works out. Like him, like when we first got introduced to the character of Happy Corbin, I thought he was gonna be a tweener, and now it just shows me he's a complete heel.
Oh no, I thought when we were what was his name before? Was his name just Baron Corbin?
He didn't have a name.
That was my problem when they first started calling him Happy Corbin, is they didn't call him Sad Corbin.
So I thought when he was poor, because he was kind of getting over with the fans, I thought he was going to turn face then.
Me too.
But then they turned him. I think they had to change of plans, and then they turned him.
I didn't mind the Happy Corbin,
and that's I think where WWE they miss so many opportunities like that. Is they could have turned him babyface and gave, like, I bet you they could have justifiably, not immediately, but built him as a sympathetic babyface to the point where he could win the Intercontinental title and get a pretty big pop.
I do like that. I do like that he doesn't wrestle in ring attire anymore. He wrestles in suits.
Yes.
Now. It's hilarious.
Yes.
All right.
No, but with the Happy Corbin stuff, I thought he was going to be a tweener. I think the first time we had Happy Corbin was with the Big E segment. This was like 2-3 weeks back, and he said he showed, and then the Logan Paul segment happened. Then he became more of a heel. I just don't like him. There's a lot of comparison to JBL, like prime JBL, 2005 JBL, which I like, but I don't think prime JBL would attack somebody before the match.
I don't
Would
think
he?
I've never heard that comparison. I don't think that's very an accurate comparison.
Do you think it's accurate or inaccurate?
No, I don't think it's very accurate. I don't think you compare Happy Corbin to anybody, to be honest.
But he's
It's very-
pretty happy-go-lucky.
But like
Yeah.
JBL was never poor. He never
Oh, yeah,
like.
Happy Corbin is pretty rich. The
Well,
both
no,
rich
but I'm
characters.
saying JBL was never poor, so he never had to like make that.
Well, I'm not saying like the whole
I'm
thing. I'm just
wrestling.
saying Happy Corbin right now.
I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm excited. I think the Extreme Rules match will be good. That's what they plan on having it.
Mhm.
But
I'm sure.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn deserve better. Also.
Yeah.
Well, moving on. So we actually they interrupted their downhill slide and gave us a quick little upward trajectory here with a Seth Rollins promo.
Wait.
Wait.
Did I skip something? Oh yeah, I did. We had a Paul Heyman interview.
Thank God.
interview.
If we didn't talk about
Yeah.
this, I would have walked off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, my bad. I had them out of order in my notes. But yeah, we had a
What
Paul
a good
Heyman
show.
backstage interview. Where are we in wrestling? How good is Paul Heyman that we look forward to his backstage interviews now? How good is this guy? Like,
It's always been good.
and Kayla Braxton. I don't want to take away from her, even though this particular interview was all Paul Heyman. I don't think Kayla Braxton, even after she asked her question, said a single word. This was just prime Paul Heyman, just being over it. Just like she says, like, my sources says blah blah blah, and he's like, I don't know what's funnier, like what you just said, or the fact that you have, like, the fact that you think you have sources. Like, I love these two. And then they
They need to have a match.
Yeah, then they pan to Biggie, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say it was silly. I just think like I don't know why Biggie needs to be there anymore now that he like. It's not like you're teasing that he's gonna cash in the Money in the Bank anymore. Not like he's got the belt now. So I don't know. Like it ended up serving a purpose because the Usos attacked him. So it did further some sort of storyline. I don't know that Biggie being backstage for interviews to like surprise Paul Heyman after interviews is still a thing they need to be doing.
I think there was just one last thing they wanted to show because they had the Money in the Bank stuff, so they wanted to show that.
Mhm.
But this was brilliant because the first Paul Heyman's like, I don't know what this whole you're obsessed with me, flirting with me, or your sources thing.
That's right.
You got to twist it for that. And then he said, I think it's hilarious. You think you have sources, but Paul is so good, and Paul is beat the show. His son, chair shots. Hopefully soon. That's one of the comments. Very hopefully soon. I think it'll be the other way around though, if we're being honest. But I did like this segment. I love that the Usos attack. So I do like that the Bloodline versus No Day things happening on Raw. So we could possibly get a Big E versus Roman match at Survivor Series instead of a 6-man tag, because I feel like Roman is so good that he deserves better than a 6-man tag at Survivor Series. What else? I was gonna say something else. But...
Well, let me say something too. Okay. I'm not gonna echo how great Paul Heyman is because you guys already did it. He is great. We all know it. You know. What I liked, and I don't know if you guys mentioned this, when Biggie got beat up by the Usos, Roman Reigns
just walk by.
I don't even know if you look down and then kept walking. It was just so cool. That was such a clever move by SmackDown. I loved it. I ate it up.
Also, Roman's tweet was amazing when they.
Oh yeah.
Smart decision.
Oh, just the right smart decision. Yeah.
That was.
I thought you meant. I thought you meant he did one like after SmackDown or something.
Oh no, he's such a bad.
I like when pro wrestlers like stay in character with the Twitter.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay does it a lot.
Roman's starting to do it in interviews now. If you watch his recent interviews, like the heel side of him's coming out more.
That's good. I like that. That should be.
Great.
I mean, that should be part of pro wrestling, to be honest. Just we know kayfabe's dead, but keep it alive a little bit. You know, at least.
But there's so many people. There's so many wrestlers that are like friends with interviewers now that like it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna go to Renee Young or whatever her name is now and be like, bad talker, you know. It's not gonna happen.
Okay,
Alright.
so now back to what I jumped the gun on earlier. Next, we have the Seth Rollins promo. So as I was saying before, he is dressed like the Tin Man. I don't know how to feel about it. It was a nice suit. It's just like it wasn't gray. It was silver. So it was like shiny, and I don't know. It looked the suit looked kind of silver.
Was a bit much.
But this, so Cody, you thought this was a fantastic promo. I think it was good, and it was definitely like one. This was definitely one of the better things on the show. I just couldn't get past that. I don't know after. Do we need? I know it's going to be a good match, but do we really need another Seth Rollins versus Edge match? It's like after that angle, Seth's made. Like Seth's made after the angle last week. I don't know why we need, especially if Seth's going to win the rubber match. I don't see how it elevates him as far as heat. I don't see how you can get him more heat than he got last week.
Okay, I'll go first on this one, Cody, with answering my take on it. I'll look at the points, narrative, well, different point of views, right? One in the narrative in terms of the story-wise, I agree with you. He already got his piece, of what he needed from Edge. He got the momentum he needed, right? But and I don't know how much more he will gain in another victory, if another victory will come, right? But in narrative sense, it makes a lot of sense. He's not finished with Edge yet, and he mentioned it in his promo, and I feel like him having another match, he's like he needs closure for himself in the match, like he's I don't think he's in the point where he's like, oh, I have to prove that I'm better than Edge. I think he just needs closure for himself with whatever demons he goes through right now. His character, at least.
Okay. So first off, none of you mentioned that the hilarious opener to his promo was when they were panning. It was a New Day, the Big E attack, and then Seth Rollins just says,
"Oh yeah, good point."
Should help Big E, huh? That was great. That was great. And then so I do like. So first off, Seth is like. He's plugging NXT, which is awesome. That with what Beth said that he's resting in his room. That's what we love. Hell in a Cell match. I think this is ending at Crown Jewel. So I honestly, a theory in my head is that the people that run or pay for the Saudi Arabia show seen that angle on SmackDown and said, "Hey, we want Edge for Saudi Arabia," because they love. Well,
I was just saying to Pangst. Hell in a Cell already happened this year, so they're done with that. Earlier this year, they switched it with Extreme Rules.
Hell in a Cell already happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did because Roman versus Ray was on the SmackDown before. I totally forgot about that. But so I feel like my theory is that they said, "Hey, we love the old we love the old schoolers, so we want Edge there." So they had to change the whole angle. I feel like maybe a little because they're paying them so much money, but Edge can wait a year. But I think Seth Rollins could. So Seth Rollins is like, I want to put an end to Edge. I do agree with that. I think Seth will end up being a face by the end of the year.
I can see that
because really? I feel like. I feel like there's not enough. It depends what show he's on. If he gets moved to Raw, I think he'll stay heel. But if he stays on SmackDown, I think he'll end up being a babyface fighting Roman. What Dom?
I can't stand babyface Seth.
I can't either, but
if Seth stays on SmackDown, he'll stay heel, and if he goes to Raw, he'll turn face.
Oh, I think it's the other way around. But I do like this promo. I do like that we're having a third match because it's 1-1. Seth's gonna put Edge finally out for a while, I believe. And I think you can't. Seth's gonna have so much momentum after this. Basically, he's probably gonna play I retired Edge for good. And I just think it's gonna be an awesome match. I love the promo. Seth is so good. I think Seth's character work is the second best on SmackDown besides Roman. And
Paul Heyman third.
I mean,
we already said Paul Heyman
together. I consider them together. So
and Corbin is there too, and Becky Lynch now. So
I mean, Seth Rollins is better than Corbin. I'm sorry.
And Becky Lynch.
Yes.
Okay.
right now because I'm not in love with Becky Lynch's character right now.
I like it a lot.
But yeah, so I did enjoy this promo. I enjoy every promo from Seth. I think he just gets better by week, and I do understand. So it makes sense to me that Seth's like, oh, he's resting. He's not in the hospital right now. Okay, then I can't live with myself until he's done for good. So I like that.
I wonder if Saudi money, blood money, in or itself in the WWE only logical sense for going to 30. Any comments?
It makes so much money off those shows. It's ridiculous.
ton
So
of money.
they would change storylines for those shows. So believe me.
Yeah. So
Moving
along. So this is unfortunately we got to a point in the show. So I've had a really busy last couple of days, so I didn't have a ton of time to finish the show. So with no malice, I had to skip through a lot of the rest of the show. So I kind of chose to skip interviews, and the next thing was a Becky Lynch backstage interview. So I did not watch this. I'm sure it was good, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it was fun. She just said went to a homecoming and yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, this was Becky Lynch. Yeah. Anyways,
I don't feel big about this.
Do you still have the notes for the next match?
I can tell you what I thought of it. I can tell you what I thought of the next match. So we had Liv Morgan and Toni Storm versus Carmella and Zelina Vega. So infamously last week, this match got cut from SmackDown. And there was a big uproar, obviously, because of first of all, just the treatment of the women's division as a whole. And second of all, Zelina Vega deserving a spot on the kind of the 9/11 tribute show. So there's a lot of controversy around this match being pulled. And after seeing the match that they had last night, I hope very sincerely that this is not the exact match that got pulled, because this was nonsense. If they pulled it from if this exact angle, the Carmella broken nose thing, is what got pulled from TV, I applaud them for pulling it, because that was nonsense. It was really, really stupid. Like, don't complain about matches being pulled when you have a shitty match.
I don't know what the hell this was. And this is what I mentioned earlier. Dolph Ziggler and Toni Storm had like a small angle like 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, this could be interesting. I don't know if they're gonna ever mention it again.
They're not coming back to that.
And it sucks, because I thought there was something there. It could have been interesting. You know?
I hate the love thing.
I like love angles. They're interesting. Maybe I'm a sucker for those, but I don't know. Maybe I watch too much daytime drama, whatever it's called. You know,
I'll just say this.
Dom, pull up the recent comment.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
You see that? Vince McMahon, I know you're listening. We're not the only ones that think. We're not the only ones that think it. The fans think it too.
The only thing I'll say is that Liv Morgan on my TV. Yes. Anything I can get to Liv Morgan. I mean, if Sasha's not coming back anytime soon, which I don't know, because I'm not, an insider or anything. But I would Liv being Becky's next challenger. I wouldn't hate that.
I would like a Sasha.
You cut out, so I have no idea what you're saying right now.
Sasha, Liv Morgan title feud.
I think you're either getting a Becky versus Sasha match. I think you're getting a Liv versus Becky match. Because I don't. Oh, it's Vince. He says he's Vince on his burner account.
Wow, so Vince himself. So right. Vince, if that really is Vince, you shouldn't be shitting on your own talent there. But okay, so moving on. So the next two segments I unfortunately had to skip because of what I said before. The Street Profits had a backstage interview. I'm sure they said something stupid that we don't need to talk. Did they say something not stupid?
So I really they said something about Bianca Belair's homecoming or something like that.
Okay.
And then they have a match versus the Usos at Extreme Rules.
They want the smoke, Eric.
We already knew that. I don't know. Fuck these guys. They're so whatever. And then
they'll be on Raw by next month.
Yeah, but and then the next one, I didn't want to skip this, but I was running very short on time, so I did unfortunately choose to skip this.
I actually thought this.
I'm sure this was good, wasn't it? This was good.
I thought this was really good, actually. He explained what the demon is, what it means to him. He's like, he says, when I feel disrespected or when I feel underestimated, I go to that place. And
All right, I'm gonna have to go back and watch this then.
I did like this. I did, and then so he's just looking at the camera when the thing is ending, and his face turns into the demon's face, and it was actually a pretty sick thing. It was cool.
Okay.
Yeah, watch this back in the Soho Britt Baker.
Hero demons. Hey Vince, you shouldn't be talking like that.
That's a good thing.
Yes, Dom, did you have anything on this?
Yeah. Let's just. I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Actually, let me start. I thought this. So I am not a Naomi fan by any means, but I feel like this was really good. She's demanding a match, which is like, I mean, it's not really realistic for a wrestler to be like, "Hey, put me on the card," and they're like, "No," and then she gets fined for insubordination. I think
that was ridiculous. That was a little. The fine was a little ridiculous.
I mean, it's just a comment. It wasn't like, "Oh, breaking news! She got." And Pat McAfee.
I know, but still, the fact that they're obviously using the fine, because I think what we're going to get is Naomi versus Sonya Deville. That'd be my guess, and this is just going to fuel it. I just think that's what you're going to find somebody for. People do 10 times more.
I like that. I like that's where we're going though, because Sonya Deville can go. No, Naomi, as much as I don't like her, she can wrestle.
She can.
It'll actually be a women's match. It's not the title match.
I really, really like Sonya Deville as a wrestler. So the sooner she gets back in the ring, the better.
Yeah. But I hope she doesn't job out to Naomi. I hope it's like at least a competitive match.
I think she will do the job to Naomi.
No, job out. I don't want her to like get squashed.
I don't think it will be a squash, no.
We'll see.
I don't think Naomi's as a kind of. I don't know if she ever squashed anybody in her career.
Yeah, but this is an entirely new character for her.
Yeah, I mean, I like that she's becoming more serious because, I mean, it makes sense. You know, she got transferred and now, nothing for her. You know, she's eager to wrestle. And Naomi's like, hey, this is bullshit, you know? And you know it. Like,
I do like the elevation, though. Like, at first, she's, like, super nice. She's like, hey, can I get a match? And then next week, it gets more frustrating. That's what you want. That's what you want. You want a good, nice build.
Yeah, and I think it's working out. Good job. You guys are actually doing something good with the women right now. All right.
Okay, so next thing we had Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn. I'm gonna be honest. This might shock you guys. Other than Rey Mysterio being awful on commentary, I kind of really liked this.
I mean, they're getting better. They're having much more matches. They're creating chemistry, so I'm expecting it to get better.
For everything they wanted to accomplish. Obviously, they're still doing the whole storyline of Dominic keeps losing. I think Dominic's going to be the one that turns heel eventually. But so they did. And Dominic looked good. I think this is the best I've seen Dominic look, at least in a long time. And Sammy's obviously great whenever he's in the ring. And so it got all of that across. And I think they're doing a really good job of they put Dominic in a position to win, but then they had him lose because he took his time going up for the splash. So they even they gave him an out with like, oh, he's just inexperienced. I don't know. I think they really hit all the notes here that they needed to.
I do like that. I also liked. So I know you guys weren't a fan of Rey on commentary. I actually kind of liked it, to be honest with you.
No.
I liked it for like it was like 5 minutes. It couldn't hurt. But so like I like they pointed out the waiting on the ropes thing because like it wasn't egregious. He wasn't like on the top rope, like going to the fans, going like that. It's just like he took a couple extra seconds, and they mentioned that because, like, if you're not like a super wrestling fan like us, we wouldn't really catch on to that. Like, he took his time to do that, so it was great. I enjoyed it. Dominic did look good, but I've always been in the camp of I think Dom's going to turn, but I would not be surprised if they swerve us and Rey turned.
Be the first time Rey is a heel on
and I will say I actually the one part of Rey on commentary that I really did like was when Dominic was kind of taking his time getting up to the top rope. Rey was like, go, hurry up. Like it kind of is like you could see Dominic being like, why are you yelling at me kind of thing? You're distracting me. But it's also just like from the mouth of the Lucha legend himself. So it kind of just drives home the point of Dominic's inexperience. Like Rey knows
it feels a little bit like Ray's going to be the one to turn tough love and be like, you can't do this. You're not cut out for this. And then it's going to. I think it's a very interesting story. Sammy's getting wins. It's unfortunate that I think it's going to come down to Sammy losing to Dominic Mysterio eventually, which I'm not looking forward to. But yeah. But I would also. Vince McMahon. he changes picture to Vince McMahon.
My boy El Torito's getting a push.
Finally, the VLC was a career highlight for him.
I would also be like Dom. If I was Dominic Mysterio, I would be like, hey, if you're asking for me to be in these matches, why are you making me face Sami Zayn? How about you make me face someone that's like a jobber that I could like get a win over instead of a guy that's like a multiple time champion? But like, yeah, it was
I mean, you might as well have like maybe still you have like a coach just whistle and like blow the whistle anytime Dominic fucks up, because it seems like Dominic.
I would like. So I hate when Sammy loses, but I would like if Rey Mysterio fought Sammy next week and won, and be like, Ray's like, hey, what's the issue? I just did it. Why can't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Other than that, I think I said it earlier a couple times. Not today, but a few of the SmackDown reviews we have done. Especially with Dominic, he needs to be in NXT. I think he would fit in right. There's a lot of good young talent. He's a good young talent. I think that he could work off of that.
We could have a family tag team match. Rick Steiner and
what's his name?
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker and Dominic Mysterio as a tag team. Make it happen. Come on.
I know it's not NXT, but I actually do like the Braun Breaker character. I'm not even gonna lie.
Kind of.
He kind of looked like a badass, if I'm being honest. All right, let's go.
So wrapping it up, the main event segment of the evening was the Bianca Belair homecoming, and this was obviously, I believe this was in Knoxville. It's in Knox County, and immediately my thought was, and I was thinking this throughout the show, was they're in Knoxville, they're having a homecoming segment. Like, Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane, is the mayor of Knox County. He's got to be on this show, right?
I'm going to be honest. I didn't put two and two together.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So I'm thinking the whole time, like, they have to bring Kane back, and they did, and it was I liked it. And this is going to be kind of sound weird. I liked that he was kind of goofy because it felt more like he was, instead of being Kane the demon, the badass, it felt more. God damn it!
Put that.
Oh, this is hilarious.
But anyway, so I was saying, so it didn't feel like I was watching Kane the wrestler. I was seeing Glenn Jacobs, the goofy mayor of Knox County, which was just kind of fun. But as homecomings go, they're fun for that building. You have to do it when you have the opportunity. Having said that, they are inherently kind of stale. Not stale. They're inherently kind of flat. So there needed to be an angle here, and there was, thankfully. Becky Lynch comes out. But man, did they make Bianca look stupid here. Stupid and weak. So Becky comes out, and her big thing that she comes out and she says, I'm reminding you that I'm here and that you can't beat me. However, I'm going to let you have your night because this is your hometown. So they shake hands, and Becky's going to walk away, and Bianca, holds onto the hand. I'm like, okay, so Bianca's going to give her a quick shot to pop the crowd as they go off the air. Oh no. She gets her up in the Canadian backbreaker rack. Becky gets out of it, plants her with, I guess they're calling that the manhandle slam. I thought it was a pump handle move, but I guess that's just what they're calling it. But yeah, they let her get out of the rack.
The pump handle's different. She grabbed him from underneath. She has
Yeah, but I guess they're calling that she's hitting a rock bottom. That's what she's hitting. But they're calling it the man. But anyway, so Bianca gets the drop on her, and it looks like they're gonna go off the air with a big pop. But then Becky gets out of it, hits her finisher, and walks away. My gosh, did they make Bianca look stupid and weak? I did not like. I'm not a big fan of Bianca Belair, but I hated that.
I didn't hate it that as much as you. I was hoping that someone was gonna get hit with the key of the city, because I was like, what else is out there other than to be used as a object? But yeah, so she gives her the rock bottom, which is cool that they're making that Becky's finisher now. which I don't hate because Becky and Rock were in the ring together, and it kind of feels like she got a little rub from that. I don't hate that Bianca's looking that weak right now because I mean I feel like we're all on the same page that there's no way Bianca's winning that match.
No.
So I mean Becky's great. Bianca had much better mic skills tonight than most nights. I like
You know
the
why? I think I know why. Because this more was a promo that I think she had more control over what she said because she was talking to like her hometown people and she wasn't reading the awkward WWE scripted promos. I think that's what it is.
Her real name's Bianca Blair.
I think she's good. Like
What?
I think she's good at talk. She's good at speaking from the heart, but she's not good at reciting lines.
Her real name's Bianca Blair. I can't believe that.
Blair. That's
Yeah,
funny.
it's on all the
Oh, what?
the pictures they show.
Then I was like, what? That's spelled it right.
No. They on all her like trophies they showed in the video package. It said Bianca Blair on it.
Yeah, but I agree with Eric on this one. She kind of looked weak. I feel like this first feud for Belair's time is over apparently because they wouldn't book her like this. It just shows that Becky can throw her weight around, can do whatever, super nonchalant. With the whole oh, what if I don't sign the contract from last week too? Oh, I want to see what a homecoming is. She kind of does whatever. She comes there, kicks ass. I think they're trying to make her like a female Rock, like if that makes sense, kind of.
I feel like she's trying to grasp her own character more than.
Do you see that connection though? Like
honestly, not as
much.
Like
a Hollywood Rock.
I see it more of a Stone Cold than.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So I'm excited for the match. I think the match is going to be amazing because we're actually going to get a full. I think this will probably be the second best match on Extreme Rules, besides Roman and.
Besides Happy Corbin and Kevin.
But yeah, it was a decent ending. I feel like the SmackDown was very filler. I think we're going to have a very good SmackDown next week. I have high expectations for next week's because the go home and SmackDown usually goes all out for go homes, especially this week because Rampage is 2 hours long. So you want SmackDown to be the last thing you think about after you watch all wrestling on Friday. So
speaking of which, since it's 2 hours that means that on the West Coast there's actually going to be a 1 hour overlap. So I wouldn't be surprised if SmackDown front loads the show to counter programming.
Yeah.
On the West Coast, we get Rampage from 7 to 8, and then SmackDown from 8 to 10.
That's true. There's a lot of New York shows going on. Those lucky bastards.
Yeah, Arthur Ashe. I'm excited for that.
Arthur Ashe, Madison Square Garden.
Speaking of the Arthur Ashe show, speaking of the Arthur Ashe show, we have one more piece of business we got to get through before we end tonight. We're gonna get to so obviously next week's a huge week for AEW, and I'm really excited for it. So we're gonna give you guys predictions for both their Grand Slam shows. They're Dynamite at Arthur Ashe, and is Rampage also at Arthur Ashe?
I'm assuming so.
I'm assuming, yeah. Wait, are we doing Rampage too? Right now? Oh shit!
Not Rampage right now. Just Dynamite.
Okay. I didn't even look at the card yet.
Yeah, we're just doing Dynamite right now.
So we're going to go through. This is going to count for our predictions for our total.
To give everyone a little refresher, so we did make one more prediction this week. We all got it wrong though. We bet on the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Championship. We all got it wrong, so the standings remain the same. I am in first place.
Close to picking Tommaso too.
I'm in first place with 18 points. Cody and Dom both have 15 points. So I've got Wednesday's Arthur Ashe card in front of me right now, and these are in no particular order. The first match, let's get a Sting and Darby Allin versus FTR. I'll start. I'm gonna go Sting and Darby Allin.
Sting and Darby. Sting and Darby.
I want to go FTR, but I don't think they're going to Sting and Darby. FTR should win, but it's going to be Sting and Darby.
Yep. Darby's not losing two big matches in a row.
That's what I was thinking. That's the only reason I'm taking Darby.
Yeah.
Even though there's no way he and an old man Sting should be one of the best tag teams in the world.
It's
but-
The best. Don't say one of the best. They're the best tag team in the world. But yeah. So
The
moving
best.
along. Next, we got MJF versus Brian Pillman Jr. I'm going MJF all the way.
MJF.
MJF.
Right.
I think this is going to be a very. Oh God! Don't put that on the screen.
It's great.
This is one of my all-time favorite promos. Thank you.
You're blocking my face. You're blocking the prize of the
You know
show.
what they all say? Oh man, I
Speaking of
got an
which-
equal, but you look at me and you look at Samoa Joe, and you can see the.
Don't read the whole
symbols.
thing. Don't read the whole thing.
Oh come on! Thank you though.
Can-
That was
can-
that
can I-
popped
can I
me.
ask-
That made my night.
Can I ask how long until Braun Breaker does a Steiner Math promo on NXT?
He needs to do it, please.
He needs to. He needs to. Anyway,
Scott
let's-
Steiner's
Scott-
underrated.
He's not Scott Steiner's kid, so
yeah.
Scott Steiner's underrated.
Yeah, let's keep going. So next match, let's get your picks for Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho for the strap. We're probably all gonna have the same pick here.
Britt Baker.
Oh,
I am
pick
going
Ruby.
Britt Baker.
Don, pick Ruby.
No,
Ruby Mark.
Baker.
All right,
Baker.
Brett.
Britt.
This is interesting.
Here's something. Okay, so this is gonna be. I got Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black. I'm torn. I'm torn because Malachi Black should win, but Cody's ego is so goddamn big, and he's squashed everybody that's ever been promised him. But yeah, I'm gonna go. My gut says Cody's gonna win because he just can't help himself. But I'm gonna give AEW some benefit of the doubt here. I'm gonna pick Malachi. I'm just hoping that they grow some balls and say, no, Cody, you can't win every match and fly in the face of what makes sense. So I am reluctantly picking Malachi Black.
Do you want me to go, Dom? Because it looks like you're conflicted. I'm going Malachi Black. If they give Cody Rhodes the win, I mean, they're going to get shit on by me and Eric enough. So, actually, I won't be there for the Wednesday show.
You know what?
Oh yeah, Wednesday's gonna be a treat. Me and Dom all alone for an AEW review.
Both of you said Malachi. I'll say Malachi then. It makes sense in terms of.
It does. It almost makes too much sense, and I think Cody knows that. So he's like, I could swerve everybody so that they can't say our show's predictable, and I could get a win.
I know.
What a fucking asshole that guy is.
How much do we have left?
Just one match.
Oh,
Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson. So before I make my pick, I'm gonna put a caveat on this, and I think you guys are gonna agree. So my pick is Bryan Danielson, obviously, but I think that includes I'm including Bryan Danielson winning by DQ because that's what I think is gonna happen.
They better not fucking end this match on DQ. I'll be so pissed.
But yeah, my pick is Bryan Danielson, clean or by DQ, by hook or by crook. Bryan Danielson.
Dom? I didn't hear what you said. Did you pick someone?
oh, great. Kenny Omega clean.
Whoa. Wow, that shocks me. But
All right, I'm going Brian.
respect.
I'm going Brian. Vince bad. No. Yeah, that's why you do much time. on
Yo, this is hilarious, bro. When you should
Yeah, I think this could be honestly, this could be a match of the year candidate. They're both incredible workers. When's the last time they fought? 2004 or something? I heard.
It's a long time.
Peter. Yeah.
PWJ, yeah. Can I change a pick if I want to?
What is it?
I'll allow it.
I want to change to FTR.
Really? Okay. Well, why?
Because he wants to get points. That's why he doesn't.
No,
Doesn't-
I was really debating it, but like I'm saying, like, are you really gonna have Darby Allin? Are you really gonna have Sting be FTR?
They beat Team Taz.
Yeah.
The only thing that might end in a DQ, but however.
I think it goes. I think it goes for every when we're making our picks. Like if FTR wins by DQ, I think Cody should still get the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do want to say, I want to see. I'm interested because they. I don't know if you guys know this spot. They had like a, like a really funny spot in PWG. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like my name is and your name is. Fuck. I forgot it. I'll send it to you later. But I'm excited. I just hope they reference that PWG spot that I forgot.
I do see Dom's point with the Kenny Omega thing winning, because I mean, do you have Bryan Danielson beat Kenny Omega in his first match?
I think it's gonna be. That's why I think it's gonna be DQ.
So I also have a bold prediction. This is down the line, but I have a bold prediction for the next AEW pay per view. So I think Hangman's gonna show up at Arthur Ashe.
Yeah.
I think Hangman's gonna be the first person to kick out of the One Wing Angel.
Yeah. That is, you know what, Cody? You know what that is?
That's not a cold take.
That's a cold take.
No, it isn't. It is
Yes,
not.
it is. That's a cold take.
That's a
I was
hot
just
take.
thinking.
No,
I was
it's
just
not.
thinking.
Not because it's Paige, but because no one's kicked out of the One Winged Angel.
I just feel like they're setting it up.
Yeah, I think that this show is there's good matches, but I think a lot of it's predictable. Like if MJF
Well, it's kind of just always been the thing with AEW pay-per-views. You know the matches are going to be good, but for the most part, they're very predictable.
like if MJF loses the Brian Pillman.
I want to say this though. Danielson and Omega don't start off doing this in the beginning of the match. I don't want it.
They won't.
I don't.
If they do that, I'm not watching it.
Then go fuck yourself. God.
I think that's a wrap. Anything else we have before?
Yes.
Anything else tomorrow? Is
Yeah.
we have some very exciting. We're gonna collab with the ASAP Wrestling Hour. They are on Tuesdays. Well, we are on Tuesdays for Monday Night Raw on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a lot of debating. We have lots of me and Eric have our gloves on for some debates. Then after the debating, we're gonna have some quiz. You know, we're gonna see how Cody and Eric are stacking up against the actual wrestling historians.
Yeah.
Um,
It's going to be probably gonna be ugly in that respect.
I hope they fail, but I'm not gonna rig it. I'm gonna have fair quizlets. Any last comments?
Yeah. So we have a big. I feel like we have. This is a pretty big. This is
Okay.
a pretty big week for our channel in general. We have tomorrow. We have the crossover, and then Tuesday we have Raw review. Wednesday Dynamite.
Yeah.
Friday we were recording our Extreme Rules predictions, and Saturday we have our review for the SmackDown and Rampage, which is 4 hours.
And Wednesday, we're also, along with the Dynamite review, going to be doing our predictions for the second day of AEW Grand Slam.
I will not be here Wednesday for the review, but I will be sending my picks in. I don't. Maybe I'll watch the show along when you guys are doing picks while I'm in the car and give my picks, so I don't influence anybody. But
yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, other than that, thank you for watching. We had a really fun show. We're gonna have a lot of more. Still very small, but if you enjoyed us, go ahead and share. I don't know if you can hear me because my connection's ass in my room.
We can hear you, just can't. You're freezing.
Anyways, I'll end it. But yes, watch out for more stuff from us. Subscribe to our YouTube. Watch us on ASAP, and yeah, adios.